But I'll go one further. I think that's not the end game,
Mm.
and this is what I'm gonna challenge you with and give you a curveball. I actually think all of this is Elon's goal to populate Mars.
Oh Jesus!
Absolutely. No, listen, Jai, hear me
Is
out.
this
Hear
one of
me
these
out.
conversations we're
This
gonna start talking about third, fourth, and fifth dimensions, or like
Welcome to another Nerdy Monday. And basically, today we're going to talk about that good old EV stuff. If y'all don't know, for those that are not initiated yet, EV stands for electronic vehicle.
I think it's
And,
electric.
I think everyone
I think it's
knows
electric.
it's true. Did I said
Yeah,
electronic? Okay, my bad. So, yes, electric
gotcha.
vehicle. But you could call it electronic vehicle too, no?
You can
No?
call it electricity. How about we just
Electric.
call it electricity vehicles? And that just makes it so much easier,
EV, electronic EV, electric. Yeah, I guess you're right.
right?
EV, electric
For
vehicle.
guys who don't know, this is why you
Why do
need
I
to like
associate?
and subscribe. Kevin always gets me, so this is when I get him, I'm super excited because it's rare.
Please,
Like and
please,
subscribe.
like it, subscribe. EV, electric. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyways, we're talking about electric vehicles. Let's get into it. So I had a Tesla, and then I traded my Tesla. I had two Teslas. I had a Model Y and I had a Model X
Bad
Plaid.
idea.
No, let me be clear. For the initiated that know about Tesla, I had a Model Y Performance and then I had a Model X Plaid. So to the non layman, they don't understand these things. So I just had to make it clear. So both of those I had really great cars. Funny thing, I kind of missed the Model Y Performance more than the Model X Plaid. Don't get me wrong, the Model X Plaid was amazingly fast. I love the Falcon Wing doors. But then the Model Y Performance just had like just a kind of special thing to it. It's hard to
It's nimble,
explain, but
like maneuver and stuff.
it's nimble. It's very nimble. I'm not really into huge cars, but then ironically, when you find out my new car that I have,
Sold out, man. You
I'm,
sold out on
but
Tesla.
I did, I did. But yeah. So, anyways, I'm ranting. But yeah, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on EVs? What are your thoughts on Tesla? I believe you have one, or you're getting
I do
one.
have one, and I think it's the car of the future. And I know you probably going to disagree with me on this, but I don't think. Okay, so first, the reason why I say that is because they're the pioneers of FSD, and for those you don't know who don't know, FSD stands for full self-driving. Tesla's pioneered that technology, and they also build their own batteries. So that's the edge they have over a lot of these other car companies. Like they build their own batteries, they have the FSD, and the good thing about Tesla, the technologies is open software. So what I mean by open software, for those who don't know, is the code is available for anyone to leverage the code. They don't hide the code for how to build a car to make it, to how the car runs. But people are still having a hard time catching up to Tesla because they're light years ahead of people when it comes to the EV technology. I don't think Elon's done in terms of the Teslas because now they're pushing out the robo-taxi, which is pretty much like the new Model Y. And there's a lot of other features and cars that he's going to be coming up with. But, that's what I have for now. What's your take on that? Because I know you you have things to say, but go ahead.
No, I just want to make it clear: Tesla did not invent
Oh, who did?
FSD.
Oh, okay.
So you're wrong on
Okay.
that. But they did develop their own FSD technology software
Okay.
stack. So custom hardware and stuff like that, and the vision-based AI systems. So they did do that. I like it. I think the reality is that compared to like GMC and other car makers, Tesla's automation. So I think there's three or four levels of automation. Level three is the best, but I don't think anything's fully out of level three. We're on level two. It operates so basically FSD is not truly self-driving. As of 2025, it operates at SAE level 2 automation, which 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 requires constant driver supervision. This branding has been criticized as potential misleading because the system does not deliver full autonomy. But not to say that this isn't the one that's like years ahead. I currently have a Hummer EV.
Sell out.
So if you guys know what that is, it's a pretty big car. And yeah, the driving experience in terms of automation is night and day when I had my Tesla. One thing that was always so cool, you could just sit back and watch the car turn on all these streets and everything. It's pretty cool versus the one that's in the GMC or my Hummer. If the road isn't on their system, it'll just basically stop. It'll be like, this road is not recognized, and that's it. Start drive on your own. It doesn't have any type of AI, any type of intelligence. It does do lane change automatically. That's pretty cool. It'll lane change and everything, but it's definitely not at the level that Tesla is.
Are you short there?
I think
One thing
though,
I was going to say
yeah.
about that whole lane change with the Tesla, this is what blew my mind when I tried the FSD with Tesla. So you know how you're on the passing lane and sometimes you're behind another vehicle that's, not moving fast enough. It's the
Yep.
technology so smart in Tesla that if there's a car behind you, you're in the passing lane, you're not going fast enough, and somebody wants to pass you, it will change the lane for the person to take over to go ahead of you in the passing lane. That's how smart that car is. Like, I mean, that blew my mind. First
Nice,
time I
nice.
tried it, I was like, what? And I thought it was a fluke, right? So I went back to the passing lane, and then, lo and behold, the same thing happened. The car was, the guy was tunneling and then switched lanes for the guy to go ahead of me. And then came back to the passing lane because it had to get ahead of the car in the middle lane. Amazing. Amazing technology.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Again, it's pretty cool. My concern though is, in a in a future
Hmm.
state. And again, I don't want to go back into the days, but I learned how to drive standard, right? And learning how to drive standard gave me a lot of,
Control.
skills in terms of
Hmm.
driving. Yeah. Well, control, but more so understanding engines, understanding timing, understanding RPMs. You have to learn these things just innately when you're driving standard. And then with automation, with the automatic transmission, way easier, 10 times easier. But still, you don't necessarily have to care about the RPM anymore, but you had to know your speeds. You had to know how to distance, to brake, and things like that. I guess now with the new generation, all on FSD, basically the smartphone of cars, I just worry that the smart cars are getting smarter, but it's just gonna create more dumb drivers,
Um,
such as yourself.
oh, this guy, man. But here's the thing. Look at it this way. I don't even think that Elon's done with this technology in terms of cars. I think that the car isn't the product that we're looking for. That Elon's looking for. I think humans are the product that he's looking for. And how do I say that?
Hmm.
The car capturing all the data, the AI data, the control, all those things is just basically preparing for what's coming next, right? So I don't know that this is the end game. Like the car is the end game. I think it's more the robots. That's where all this is going, right? Um,
So you think that's the
I
end game,
I
the
think so.
robots?
I think because all this is just gathering data. I don't think that Tesla is where the buck stops at Tesla, right? I think it's just the stepping stone for him. You know, the car is just
Hmm.
a byproduct. The goal, there's still an end goal, and which is robots because it collects.
So I agree with
Go
you, but
ahead,
I'll
go ahead.
go.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, go on. It
No, no,
collects
no.
what?
I was just saying like
Collects data.
just reiterating what I said. Collects like driver data, behavior, learning how everyone, human beings drive. That's all data that they're collecting. And
Hmm.
you in the future, data is going to be like the new gold because whoever has the most amount of data is can run things, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. It was funny. I was just using I was using ChatGPT to edit a PDF, and one of the code in the
Hmm.
PDF for one of the fields wasn't formatted
Hmm.
properly. So I asked ChatGPT to do it. It said it did it. I downloaded the form, still didn't
Hmm.
work. I uploaded again,
Still
said,
didn't
"Can you
work.
do it?" He did it. Didn't work. It's just kind of funny. Anyways, but I'll go one further. I think that's not the end game,
Hmm.
and this is what I'm gonna challenge you with and give you a curveball. I actually think all of this is Elon's goal to populate Mars.
Oh Jesus!
Absolutely. No, listen, Jai, hear me
Is
out.
this
Hear
one of
me
these
out.
conversations we're
This,
gonna start talking about third, fourth, and fifth dimensions, or like
I no, no.
okay,
I'm just listen. I'm just saying. Elon's a very eccentric person,
agreed.
and I respect that. But if you just kind of put it together, he's got the Boring Company, he's got SpaceX, he's got the AI, he's got the XAI, he's got the robots now, he's got the cars. If you put it all together, what do you think is going to happen if we did go to Mars? There's no oil in Mars. So, and what do you need? You need power. How would you power those? Using solar panels or even satellites or whatever. I don't know. But the point is, I personally think given Elon Musk and his eccentricity, this is all to potentially inhabit Mars. If you really think about it, you can send all the robots there. Once he's developed AI, that's why I'm saying I agree with you with
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
AI.
Hmm.
He's using the data from the cars to put into the AI. Send those ahead of time. Send those. How many years will it take us to get to travel to Mars real quickly?
Or maybe even the moon. Who knows?
So it would take, okay, typical time to travel to Mars is 6 to 9 months. So
Six?
he
Did you
sends
say
these
six to
robots
nine or 69?
six to
Okay,
nine
6 to 9
months.
months. Okay, so almost a year. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, NASA's working towards a 9 month journey with SpaceX. See? Boom! SpaceX. Ha!
Okay.
I knew
Okay.
it. This is just in
Okay.
my
You know
head.
what? Funny thing
SpaceX
is,
aimed to reduce this to about 6 months with improved
I
spacecraft.
don't.
Damn, I'm a
Okay.
genius.
Okay.
Damn.
Sure. You're a legend in your own mind. Sure, that's good. Um, I actually don't disagree with you to that point because there's always been that debate whether or not Tesla is a software company versus a hardware company, right? But when
Mm.
you look at all the things that he's developing from the software perspective, it's the technology that's it's almost like a it's I wouldn't say it's dormant, but it's one of those things where it's like it's not generating revenue right now because the hardware is the one that's generating revenue, which are the cars. But when you think of the build up to what's driving that, whole technology, the chips, the batteries, the software, all those things, that's part of what, to your point, might be used to get to that whole space exploration because you have SpaceX, the Boring Company. So I mean, you're onto something there. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
It's just that for now, I think keeping it just in terms of the product itself, I think it's Tesla product. I think it's light years ahead of other EVs. And if that's the end goal, which
100%.
is going to Mars, then I don't know that any of these car companies can catch up with what they're doing in terms of technology.
Well, you're right, but I think this is the difference: chess versus checkers. The car companies are playing
Yes.
checkers. Elon's playing
Not just
chess,
chess.
so it's not
He's
even a
playing
matter
4D
of.
chess. It's not just regular chess.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, he's high
yeah,
up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if I can finish my vision, I believe Mars' atmosphere is not
Yeah.
inhabitable by
Yeah.
us, right? So boring. If we figure out a way to bore, and he's the master of boring now. Now he has a flipping company all about boring. Their colonization will start underground, and then you have surface area after surface area to do solar panels, which would be our energy because the sun, Mars revolves around the sun. It's in our solar system. And then after the AI bots would terraform, not terraform, yeah, I guess they could do terraforming, potentially the area. They can start building things, building buildings underground, things like that. And yeah, I think that's really the end goal. And then obviously you're going to have Tesla cars autonomously. we're going to live in pods, or whoever is selected to live in pods and things like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if this American party that he's starting are the first individuals that might be potentially to go because they're part of his
So
new
you're gonna join the
party.
party?
I don't know. I just have a.
You're gonna join the party?
Well, I can't.
Well, I mean, hey,
I cannot. I'm
it doesn't
Canadian.
matter. You can go there and then join the party since you're, one of the Elon guys. But I mean, we're joking now. We're saying all these things, but when you look at the way technology is moving, the pace at which it's moving, some of the things that we weren't able to do for the longest time, we can do it like that. And that's a scary part
Hmm.
because the advent of, AI technology is just moving things at a very rapid pace. It's almost like there's nothing impossible for these guys anymore. Things that would take them years to do is taking them minutes, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
good convo, good conversation. I think we started off
Hmm.
with the EVs. I still think Tesla is way ahead, and it's probably people should look into Teslas because not just okay, let's scratch that. People should look into EVs in general, and the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of cost saving to EVs as well. I mean, I've not really researched on the environmental impact of why we need EVs, but I'm more in the cost saving part of it because give you an example, I was spending close to $500 on gas every month. Now I only spend about less than sometimes 90. I mean, in the peak when we had the carbon tax, I was spending about 130, but when they took it out, it came back to like 90, $80 on, and it went up in my electricity bill compared to $500 every month on gas. The other side to it is there's no maintenance. I don't have to change the oil. I don't have to change the brakes. I've had it for 3 years, and the brakes are good for 5 to 8 years, depending on your driving habits. So these are things. So there's low cost and maintenance. So and I'm sure this applies to other vehicles, EVs as well, for the most part. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons
And for
why.
those,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for those that don't know, if you ever see somebody that looks like they just keep braking in front of you, they're probably driving an EV car. Because a lot of times with EV cars, to what Jai is saying, is you don't use the brakes a lot. You slow the 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 motor slows your car
Yep.
down when you use one pedal driving. So the second you let off the gas in an EV car, the motors will slow you down. You don't use the brakes. And so that's why what Jai is saying is the brakes last longer because you're not using them as much. The car is not using them to slow down. The only time you actually use the brakes is if you're not judging your distance properly or you turn off one pedal driving and you choose to actually just use the brakes, right? So to Jai's point, really great thing. I love it. It's called regen,
Regenerative braking.
one pedal
Yeah.
driving, but you just
Regenerative braking.
regenerate
Yeah.
braking and stuff like that. But again, I'm not an expert at it. Maybe there's slight brake usage, but I'm pretty sure the whole point is for it to do negative energy. So, when I don't know if you guys know how rotors work, but you have a magnet, an opposite, and they just keep going in, you know what I mean? So, what you can do is when you slow down, you can reverse that and push a little bit more energy back to the battery. Because when you accelerate, the battery,
Loses
the
energy.
potential
Just
energy,
going
turns it
kinetic energy.
to kinetic
Yeah.
energy, and then after that drives the vehicle. Well, you can reverse that, put a little bit of energy. Anyways, remember this is Nerdy Monday.
Yeah, go research
But
it.
one thing I want
Regen.
to,
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Okay.
yeah, but real quickly, I wanted to highlight BYD has a higher market share than Tesla in the
Yes.
EV market share,
Well, I mean,
which is quite interesting.
I
So as of
yeah.
2020,
No, go ahead. As you're looking at it, I
as of,
drove a BYD, and the car's amazing. This was when I traveled.
oh,
Yeah, I
nice,
traveled out
cool,
out of it. You can't find it in North America, so you have to travel out of North America to
yeah,
get
yeah.
to see that. Yeah.
So yeah, as of 2024, BYD held 22% global plug-in vehicle market
Yep.
share, while Tesla only had 13.2%. And BYD is the largest plug-in hybrid manufacturer and the second largest battery electric vehicle manufacturer, while Tesla remains the banu- largest battery
Electric
electric
vehicle maker.
vehicle
Yeah.
manufacturer.
BYD for those who don't know. Yeah.
Manufacturer.
BYD for those who don't know stands for Build Your Dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Build. Okay, I never knew that.
build your
Nice.
dream, and it's they have a fleet of cars, of course, relatively cheaper. That's why it's not going to come to North America anytime soon, because if
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
lowest brands of BYD, if they put 100% tariff on it, if it came to North America, it would still be better priced than all the other EVs. So
Really?
yeah, so
Wow.
they
Jeez.
actually have the only
That's wild.
BYD factory outside of China is in Brazil, the state of Salvador and
Mm,
Bahia in Brazil, and they have a
wow.
manufacturing plant there.
And I heard in China they also have cars with replaceable
Yes,
batteries,
that's
which I think is a
the
huge
Neo. I
thing.
think the Neo is one of those that you
Uh,
could just walk in and then they replace the batteries and like is it the Neo? I can't remember what I. Sorry guys, don't get fact check me, but China's is
and
yeah, it's ahead.
we're not talking about the
No,
Matrix,
no.
basically. Just to yeah, yeah,
But yeah, guys, it's
yeah.
good conversation. But do your research before you get your EVs. I would recommend Tesla because I have one and I know how good those cars are. But overall, I think EVs are a cost saving for vehicles for you in general. That there might be some upfront costs depending on the EV that you buy. If you buy like Kevin's EV, like I mean that's you're balling, right? But just want to buy like a regular Model 3, just be modest like me and just, you should be okay.
Yeah. No, and and I work from home. I don't go anywhere, so that's where the Hummer works for me. But
Uh,
it does have a huge range. I would say at 80%, my Hummer EV gets 480
that's pretty
kilometers.
good.
Just at 80%. Amazing. But once again, I can if I drive, I think I'll burn probably yeah, I'll burn it. The kilowatts per hour when I'm driving is probably twice as high than in a Tesla. So though I have a lot more battery, it's really not that efficient, but I love it. It's beautiful. It's huge. Anyways, all right, guys, this is our Nerdy Monday. Hope y'all found it interesting. And please like and subscribe. Let us know if we missed anything major. But yeah, leave comments. Let us know. All right, guys, take care. God bless.